Today we get to do something most never get the opportunity to do. Cross the Memorial Bridge while having it almost entirely to ourselves. In this series, we begin outside the hallowed grounds of Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia, where over 400,000 of America's military heroes are interred. Here we investigate both the Navy Seabees Memorial and the Hiker Memorial, which is dedicated to veterans from the Spanish-American War era. We continue on to get a panoramic view of the bridge above the Potomac River, and then begin our journey across it. It is a memorial to the reunification of the North and South after the Civil War, and we will learn all about its history. All the while, we will do it in a rare, quiet moment when traffic is completely shut down for an upcoming event. When we reach Washington, D.C., we will take a close look at the twin Arts of War statues. These were gifts from Italy after World War II and act as bronze guardians to the bridge. Next stop, the other side. So before we actually cross the Memorial Bridge, I wanted to get some footage of it, just kind of off from the side, getting the whole bridge in the frame. And there is the Potomac River, which it crosses. So right now we are in Arlington, Virginia. And when you get off the bridge, we will be in Washington, D.C. And actually, the entire Potomac River is considered part of Washington, D.C. So if I just walked up to the water there and stuck my toe into the water, my toe would be technically in Washington, D.C. But I also just kind of wanted to explain a little further why I made my decision not to go inside the cemetery today. This is only the fourth day in the history of Arlington National Cemetery, which opened a few years after the Civil War ended. Today is only the fourth day that people have been allowed to just walk up to the tomb. Just any person off the street could walk right up to the tomb of the unknown soldier and lay a flower. So really, I did say end of the Civil War, but the tomb of the unknown soldier didn't open up until the 1920s. So still, in over a 100-year period, this is only the fourth day that has been allowed. So why did I decide to pass on that for something else today? There is another event going on the other side of the bridge there. It's called Rolling to Remember, which is an extension of what used to be Rolling Thunder. I will talk more about that in the videos I make about this. This is where veterans come on Memorial Day, especially Vietnam War veterans who are bikers, and they're on motorcycles and wearing lots of leather. And it is quite an event. And both of these events are going on at the exact same time. So it would have been possible to really rush and get them both in. But the problem is with the selfie stick. The selfie stick is not allowed inside the cemetery. And I feel that I really will need the selfie stick for the Rolling to Remember event because there are going to be lots of crowds. And I will need to get shots that go over people's heads to be able to film properly. So I'm going to need the stick. There is no way I would be able to film both of them, plus go back to my house to either get the selfie stick or to leave it behind. So I really had to pick one or the other, and I'm going with Rolling to Remember. But now we will go ahead and cross the Memorial Bridge here, and I'll tell you some more about it. So here we are at the entrance from the Virginia side, and we are going to walk over right now. So the Arlington Memorial Bridge is really interesting. It opened in 1932, and the word memorial is in there for a reason, because it is memorializing the reunification of the North and the South. In the very back there, you can see the Lincoln Memorial. So of course, Abraham Lincoln was the president of the Union of the North during the Civil War. And then that house I pointed out to you before, called Arlington House, which you may or may not be able to see in the center of the frame, that was the home of Confederate General Robert E. Lee. So you had Lincoln facing off against Lee in the actual war, And they are kind of facing off against each other right now on either side of the bridge. And the bridge reunifies the two of them. And by extension, we can also say that on the other side, you have Washington, D.C., the capital of the North of the Union. And behind us, that is Virginia, which of course was the state of the capital of the Confederacy in Richmond. So on both counts, it is reunifying the North and the South. And they just did some major renovation on this bridge from about 2018 to 2020. And when I first started as a tour guide, tour buses were not allowed to cross over the bridge because of the work they were doing on it. And of course, they were doing this work because it was kind of getting to be in bad shape. So tour buses carry all of this extra weight, and we weren't allowed on it. So it actually made things pretty difficult, because if you wanted to go to Arlington National Cemetery, instead of just crossing over this bridge and being right there, you can see off in the distance where another bridge is. That's the 14th Street Bridge. And then you probably can't see it, but off in the distance, there is the Teddy Roosevelt Bridge. So we kind of had to go out of our way to cross over here. But then after the pandemic, this was completely reopened, and now it's fine. We use this bridge all the time with the buses. It makes things so much simpler. And today, because of all of the events going on, it's closed to road traffic. Normally, there's all kinds of vehicles going both directions here, but now it's just people. There's a nice view of the area, Potomac River. You've got the Washington Monument back there. We'll just cross over. Yep, on a normal day, you just can't cross over like this to the other side. But right now we can, and I can show you what's on this end. And that is the skyline of Arlington, Virginia. So we usually think of the cemetery when we say Arlington, but there is a whole city back there, and that is the downtown district of Roslyn. And that's really as far as it gets for an actual skyline for the entire DC area, because DC actually has height restriction laws. They don't allow buildings to be built too tall. So the buildings that need to be built tall get built over there on the Virginia side.